Where do we begin with this?
Joaquin.
I was thinking about that a lot today. It's like, where do we even start
There's
with this?
so much to cover. Where do we start? What would be a good spot to start?
I think...
First scene.
Okay, we could do that.
Where he's twirling the sign.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the first scene in the movie, right?
Yeah. This is, again, can't stress enough, this is a spoiler review. If you intend to see Joker, you haven't yet and you don't want to know what happens, kind of skip ahead.
We'll put in the description the exact time.
Yeah.
Once we edit and everything to skip to.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, the YouTube description, that is. Spotify, we ain't got that.
we'll be talking about all yeah, we have description on Spotify. Is that?
We do, but I usually just put what the show was about.
Oh, well,
I'll say spoiler discussion about Joker. People will know.
I guess, yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
Skip ahead.
Use
Use your brains, people. It's
Yeah.
2019.
Right.
That's right.
right.
So yeah, first scene.
Yes.
I thought this movie immediately had me invested in it. I don't know about you guys, because they set the tone right in the beginning.
Well, I totally didn't expect to see Joaquin Phoenix in the Joker makeup, or Joker-esque makeup, in the first scene of the movie. And granted, he wasn't the Joker
Right.
yet, but it was painting the picture really well for what's going to happen. And if you noticed in that scene, he fucked up his makeup because he started crying when he was doing all the smile thing and the sadness. And I think that just told me at least right away, this guy's going through something.
Yeah.
He's definitely got demons, and he's definitely in war with himself or with his mental illness. And so I was right away I was sucked in with what's going to happen.
Yeah.
If this is the first scene, he's going to be a madman.
Yeah, that I kind of interpreted that as almost a way to show that deep down he was the Joker from the beginning. He had a lot of inner demons, and even though this movie was very much about his journey becoming the Joker as we know him, I think that I viewed that as on the inside, even from the very beginning when he was on the surface trying to be, a nice guy, trying to get along, trying to take care of his mother, he still had inner demons that he was kind of trying to suppress, trying to shove down. He was the Joker on the inside, but this movie was about the Joker kind of coming out. That's the way I took it.
Yeah, it really seemed like the pinnacle of how far you could push someone before they go off the edge. And this was absolutely to the extreme of that in every facet of the movie. Don't get me wrong.
Especially pushing someone as far as they could go with a mental illness.
Yeah, exactly. And he had his problems going into the first scene that we weren't initially aware of, but were soon explained right afterwards. And man, this guy, as you said in that first episode, man, a bad day every day since the day you've been born.
I remember
Terrible.
when we were talking about this, I think last week, how we were going to see Joker and stuff. I think it was last week that you said, I really hope this movie has, and I'm paraphrasing, has more violence as opposed to an in-depth study about the psychology of a man. Do you stand by that?
I think it had the perfect balance. The perfect balance.
I
think
like
they
to have
nailed
seen more violence.
Really?
But I'm not upset with the movie in any way, shape, or form. I just think it would have been cooler for see the
I hear
Joker go out and murder a couple more people and show, just get back at the bull. If he got those kids back at some point during the movie, I would not have been upset if he killed some kids.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Here's what did it for me is that there were really only like 3 or 4 violent scenes, right? Mm-hmm. But the reason why that's enough for me, it might have been 3. The reason why that's enough for me is because the way that they made those violent scenes was it was so dark.
Jaw-dropping.
Man.
And so that was plenty for me.
Shout out to the director, Todd Phillips, did just so good with... And DC, man, they pulled it off. They
nailed it.
They nailed it.
Yeah.
And they did really good. And obviously, reviews aren't meant to be just, praising a movie. Obviously, this movie wasn't perfect. There's issues in some regards, but my honest opinion is that this movie was just phenomenal. And I think they did really, really well at portraying the Joker as someone you can empathize with. And it reminded me a lot of, in Game of Thrones, Season 8 especially, when you're seeing Cersei's world come crashing down, even after all the diabolical things she's done throughout 8 seasons, you're still man, you're almost rooting for her to win. And, I felt myself feel the same way with Joaquin Phoenix and the Joker.
Because he started off as a genuinely, a good guy.
Yeah, and I don't know about you guys, but the scene that got me just encapsulated with this movie, and it was a little while through, and I was with it from the get-go, but the scene that made me say, I love this movie was right after he killed the 3 kids on the subway and was in the bathroom doing his little dance. I was like, what the fuck? I
love that dance.
Yeah. I was like, this is the Joker.
Yep.
He's crazy.
Yep. I thought the same thing. That, to me, that scene, I thought in my head, he's now the Joker.
Yeah.
That was when the switch flipped. He was the Joker.
Yeah.
Going on.
You know what really got me into this movie? And it was actually immediately into the movie when the kids took his sign and he chased them down however many blocks in New York City to go find them, get his sign back, and then just get him whacked in the face.
They beat the shit out of him.
They beat the living shit out of him. Then the sign was broke, and then later on his boss yells at him for the sign.
Yeah.
And he just starts smiling at him because he's like, I can't even believe this.
Yeah. Right. And it just goes to show one bad thing following another, and no one taking your side, no one believing you, type of shit, and it's terrible and whatnot. But what got me into the movie right away is I knew this guy was the Joker.
Yeah,
I know he was gonna become the Joker, and immediately I felt terrible for him. I just my heart sank. I was like, oh man, I really just want to give this guy a hand, help him up, and help him through the rest of his day or something like that, and. Yeah, dude, it was forever bad moments for him.
You know what's even kind of
it brought me down watching it.
You know what's even kind of crazy and
empathy.
I think this is indicative of how good the writing was in this movie. Is that even after he killed those innocent kids, I still was focused. Well, those kids on the subway.
Right? Did they deserve to get shot?
After he killed them. They didn't deserve to get shot, but even after he killed them, because bad things continued to happen to Arthur, was his name, I still felt sympathy for him. It wasn't like, all right, he killed the kids, he's now a monster, I have no remorse for him, no sympathy. Yeah. It was still like, I connected with him, right?
The parallels between getting beat down literally the first time after he got the sign stolen from him, and once those kids on the subway started to beat the shit out of him, and I knew he had the gun, I was like, this guy's gonna pop off. I was like, this is when it's gonna start, and it did.
Yep.
And I just honestly, I can't say enough good things about the way Joaquin Phoenix played this character, and you got to think about how big of a task this is going into a performance after such a legend like Heath Ledger. And honestly...
Jared Leto, you mean, right?
Man, we'll get to that in a second.
He's tight.
I got a bit to say about that.
He was technically the most recent Joker, I mean.
Heath Ledger, it's really nice to have a Joker movie that portrays the Joker in such a different fashion that Heath Ledger did. Heath Ledger portrayed the Joker as a maniacal man who's capable of absolutely vicious acts without any remorse. Whereas on the other side of the spectrum, you have Joaquin Phoenix playing the Joker, who is a man you empathize with. Not one time did I empathize with Heath Ledger's Joker. I don't know about you guys.
No, I didn't.
No, I don't think so.
I never empathized.
It's been a while since I've seen Dark Knight, though.
Never empathized with him. I always just thought of him as the bad guy. He's a psycho guy who's doing crazy things. But then you have this performance by this actor who makes you...
Joaquin Phoenix.
Who makes you think
Joaquin.
About, this is a guy. He's a guy who got the worst cards dealt with him in the world. And on top of that, the writing was phenomenal for it. They did a great job, making him able to do that.
Building him up.
And what a good casting. And I mean, like I said, 2 different Jokers. Honestly, I think I prefer, watching the story of the Joker, played by Joaquin Phoenix, more than just the diabolical acts by Heath Ledger's Joker. But it's up to subjection. Each person's different.
I was going to ask you guys, who do you like more at this point?
I just was trying to answer that for myself. because the question popped into my head. That's a tough one.
It is.
It's a really, really tough one.
They both did a great job. And I'll tell you what I think. I think I'm, as well as this movie and as great as it was, I think I still like Heath Ledger's Joker just because he was pinned up against Batman. Yeah. And that relationship he has with Batman in that movie, like, just knowing, like, it could have been, you know, before its passing, it could have been a great rivalry from the movie to follow and shit like that. Like, it was so beautifully... He did it such a great job for such a future film, and it just never happened. But I think, even though it didn't happen, it was beautiful.
I think to fairly compare the two Jokers, you got to kind of take Batman out of the equation and just look at Joker as a character. You know what I mean? And
true.
And so to say,
so then I look at.
I agree.
Right.
I also liked how he interacted with Batman in the whole story, but. Kind of, I think we have to separate the story from the characters.
I think
that makes sense.
I agree. And I also think, though, it's tough in the sense, too, that...
How do you separate a character when all the character does interact with other characters? You know?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, for this movie, there was some time we saw him alone and whatnot, but in Heath Ledger's Joker, he was almost always with another counterpart, except for when he blew up the hospital.
True.
But
I'm talking about their psyche,
that's the thing,
their motives, that sort of thing.
That's what I was gonna say. Is that Heath Ledger is the smarter Joker? I think the psychology of Heath Ledger's Joker is just the smarter Joker, the
more planned,
the more comic book Joker, where he's got things calculated and he could kill someone with anything in a room by doing
anything.
Yeah, anything really. Where.
Took the pencil, put it through the guy's head. That was immediately what drew me into Dark Knight.
Where Phoenix's Joker is more about the descend into like how that even becomes a possibility. So it's different spectrums, different Jokers, both amazing. Both are great. To answer your question, I still think Heath Ledger's the better Joker. Hot take. But I like the psychology behind Phoenix's Joker way more. We haven't seen the violence and stuff done by this Joker that we've seen with Ledger's Joker, and I mean,
right, and
that's what you associate the Joker with,
exactly. Right.
And
that's
so
what you think of the Joker as. This
so
guy
it's almost comparing apples to oranges.
It is, and I mean, I'm partial to like
they're both great.
The mental health stuff, and that's why this film was like so great to me as well, but. You do associate Joker with doing just maniacal acts, and in Ledger's movie, it's prominent throughout his entire performance, and he steals the show. He died for that role.
Yeah,
I mean, he really did.
Here's an interesting question. Do you think, since we're kind of comparing Heath Ledger's Joker and Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, and you were talking about how Joaquin Phoenix's Joker is almost like the build-up to how someone becomes like the Joker in The Dark Knight. Mm-hmm. It's like almost like the prologue. You know what I mean? It's kind of like the before, how everything happens. Could you see, what if they tied the two movies together? In other words, Joker, 2019's Joker was like Joker 1, and then Heath Ledger's Joker was Joker 2. Could you see that? I could see. You know what I'm trying to say? I could see Joker A turning into Joker B.
I could.
And go ahead, you first. I'll dive into that.
It's almost like a symbiote, like Venom.
Yeah.
Like this mental illness that the Joker has turns him into this super, super diabolical guy.
Right.
And that could definitely be... There's a lot of room to write about that and stuff. This film just focused on getting there. Like, it was the discovery of the symbiote kind of thing. Like, this is my descent into madness because of the cards that I'm dealt. But I think they could definitely write that for sure, how this mental illness turns him into someone that psycho.
Yeah.
And, like, it's like a multi-personality disorder kind of thing. Where, like, with this... disorder you're given, it's almost like your power. And I mean that's the thing.
Some people can take their disorder and use it into a weapon for other people or themselves. But what I was gonna say is I sent you guys a little picture from Instagram, a post that I saw, and I put it in the On Tap group. I don't know if you guys read it or not, but I'm gonna read it for the pod right now.
Probably did.
Sure.
You're a bastard.
Skimmed it right over.
So there's this account called Get Fandom, and let me tell you, it is a very great account to follow if you're into any sort of superhero, anything pop culture really. Get Fandom is on top of it. So I rely on them heavily for my source material, and like I think they're great. But the picture I sent you guys says Todd Phillips shares new details on the Joker. And
I did see this, Andrew.
Yeah. I said,
thank you.
You looked at it. You're a bastard, Tate.
I might have seen it.
There's a couple of quotes in the picture, and it says Joaquin Phoenix Joker would never go up against a grown-up Batman if there is a sequel. It is possible Arthur Fleck isn't the real Joker, but an inspiration for Batman's real nemesis. And you know, you're saying this is DC Blacklist type of movie, so they're all their own standalone movies type of deal. And if that is the case, you know, it sucks because they truly set up a great point for Batman in this movie and everything they did with it. But if they're not going to do that and they want to take, you know, Joaquin Phoenix's Joker as an inspiration for a future Joker, great. I don't think the people would be happy.
Yeah,
though.
I don't.
I'm chomping.
I wouldn't like
I'm
that.
chomping to say something.
Go ahead.
I'm jonesing. My legs twitching.
I just had to say that. You know?
No.
Yeah.
And it relates to that completely. Number one, I think we all.
Oh, he's looking at the picture, folks.
I think we kind of figured here at On Tap that Joaquin probably wouldn't go up against the Joker. I mean
Batman.
The Batman. And that being said, after seeing the movie, I'm kind of glad that he's not going to, because this was such a standalone Joker movie that built him up to be such his own person with his own battles that I don't think he needs Batman to kind of, you know, belittle that or like lift him up. I don't think that's necessary. Mm-hmm. And the second thing, I would be really disappointed if Arthur Fleck that we saw in this movie is not the actual Joker.
Yeah, I'd be pissed.
I think that's baloney because you nailed a movie on the Joker.
It was the perfect origin story.
It almost seemed like the ending of the movie was him getting out. Like on his way breaking out of wherever the F he was at the end of that movie.
His mind?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe we saw visions.
Maybe he was in an asylum. Maybe it was just his mind. But like the bloody shoes, him running up and down the hallway, it seemed like he found his. You know, he's working his way out of that place.
Yeah.
And I mean,
I really hope this DC Black Label thing isn't taken too seriously because, like I said, it was perfectly set up for Robert Pattinson's Batman, the next Batman in line.
Go ahead.
Let me bring up a quick point, and I said this to you guys when we were driving home from the movies, and I want to... Wow.
That was gnarly.
I don't know if everyone heard that, but that was a nice rip.
Wow. It came from the soul, that one.
All right. Love that sound.
On tap.
I said this to you guys when we were driving home from the movies, but I want to say it again here. I think I loved Joaquin Phoenix's Joker. I would love to see him in another movie.
Absolutely.
Love to see him in another movie.
I hope so.
And I think that DC has an incredible opportunity here. Incredible opportunity to make this into a much larger universe. I think, here we go, money quote right here, you heard it on tap. If they did this right, I think this Joker movie could turn into DC's Iron Man 1.
But the thing is...
I agree. I do agree.
I agree with the premise of it, but the logistics of it, I don't know, because DC Black Label movies, they already said they're going to be separate from the DCEU.
Which I think is
That's what plays into DC is stupid.
Yeah,
they're
kinda
dumb. Like if
just abolish it already. Just abolish the Black Label already.
Just do this from the get-go.
Yeah.
And like, you know what I'm saying?
What I'm saying is they should, if they were smart, they would look at this and say, "Damn, we got something going here. Let's build on it." But and it'd be a shame to, I think, just kind of let this go.
Okay.
What do you think?
Let's all take a step back here.
Getting a little riled.
Fired up.
Yeah, all right. Let's all take a step back here and relax and breathe. And now, after watching this movie, guys, seeing Joaquin's journey from start to finish, do we think he could become a crime lord? Like, this Joker that he's created could become a crime lord, like the Joker we know from Dark Knight, for instance.
That's what I'm saying. I'm absolutely convinced.
Yes, you think so?
Yeah, that's the thing, though.
You think he could gather a gang and just start murdering?
Well, look at the end. He had everyone rallying around him. He had the support right there.
But it's hard to compare. Like, we don't know his motivations yet, really.
Right, there's nothing to say about that other than the fact that he was pissed off about life and he wanted to get back at it.
Where
he's high on being bad.
And having the attention.
I
mean, yeah, I don't know,
Is he the one who knocks?
That's a great shirt, by the way.
Thank you.
Can the camera see that?
Well, Walter White, our boy Heisenberg, El Camino. I'm throwing it in now. October 11th.
Can't wait.
I saw an article that we know Walter's fate. I didn't read it. It could happen. He could be in this movie, guys. But
I'll talk about
back
that
to Joker.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know though. It's tough to say because the motivations are still kind of. It's a gray area.
Do you think it would be a good idea if they tried that?
To build the universe and to like build Joker into a super villain? Yeah, I guess.
Could he be our Thanos?
Nah, I don't think so.
No one. I don't think anyone would stack up to.
But I don't know. Like,
he can make a damn good villain though.
All right, I don't think they need the whole Justice League to bring him down and like 40 other fighters.
I don't know because they're like we said, they're different Jokers, and I mean, I'm not convinced, at least as of yet, that Phoenix's Joker is as calculated and smart in general to be that villain, whereas Ledger's villain was just a diabolical guy who was a genius.
Right. But I mean, if they made another movie, all they would have to do is say, yeah, this guy's been crazy for a year, and now he's this batshit crazy. That's all they'd have to do. They could easily write that into the movie.
I don't know. I like the psychology part of it too, though. It's like they banked a lot on the psychology part of it and like the mental illness part of it, and it was almost to make a statement more than to build up like a villain.
Yeah,
like you were rooting for the Joker kind of in a way, and you were never doing that with Ledger's. I mean, he stole the screen, and you were like, hypnotized by his performance, but.
I don't think Christian Bale gets enough credit in The Dark Knight because that movie wouldn't have been nearly as good if Batman wasn't just as pissed off about this Joker dude as anyone else.
But that's why I really like this movie too, is because, like I said, the Joker in every Batman movie has always been like my reason why I liked the Batman movies. I've always said Batman's kind of stale.
Wild.
I've always said that like. My favorite part about those movies was watching The Joker. And this was a movie about only the Joker. And like, I like that.
So you don't want them to take...
So they didn't need Batman. They didn't need him. And they still made it a mind-blowing film.
They still put him in there, though.
Yeah, yes and no. They put
the Waynes in there, and they put Bruce in there. There's a big interaction with Bruce, man.
But you can argue that...
They still put it in there.
You can argue that that's to only drive Phoenix or Fleck, I guess, into more madness because he thought that he was adopted, and it's like John being a Targaryen.
No, he found out that he was adopted.
Right. Well, okay, yeah. It's like John finding out he's a Targaryen, and then Danny finds that out and goes mad. It's like Fleck finds out he's adopted. They use that to go, further down the rabbit hole. So like.
Jojo Rabbit.
Yeah, that's coming out.
So here's a question.
What?
Do you think... All right, let's say they did another movie with Joaquin Phoenix. Okay?
They probably won't.
I hope they do.
I think
I think they will.
If they get enough money.
They seem to be pretty dead set on this.
Not to. If they did another movie with Joaquin Phoenix, do you think it would be a mistake to somehow add in Batman?
No.
I don't think so.
I don't know. I really don't know. I mean,
it truly depends.
Movie was so great with just him that I don't know. I mean, it depends on the writing. It depends on the director. It depends on the cast.
I think it truly depends on how far along we want to go with this because we saw our Wayne boy very young in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you right now, I do not think Phoenix is going to be with Pattinson.
No, I don't think that's so. Why I think Todd Phillips' comment is so interesting, because I don't think it's going to be Phoenix as our next Joker. I think we're going to find another Joker, and it's not going to be Jared Leto.
That sucks,
I think we're going to get another one, and it's going to be... And this is how, like, this Batman movie could... I don't know if Batman villain's been confirmed or not, but...
That sucks so bad.
I think this is what we're going to see.
Why would you do that?
You can't...
DC's dumb as freaking...
Why would you pick an origin story for the Joker with the perfect casting, with a guy who nails it and everyone loves...
Yeah.
After someone like Ledger, who goes toe-to-toe with Ledger as the Joker, and then you say, he wasn't the real one.
Yeah.
Here's this other guy
that
you guys should root for as the Joker. That's so freaking stupid, and I hope that DC has enough common sense not to do that, but I don't have faith. So, honestly, I could see it happening, and I'd be really pissed off. I probably wouldn't see the fucking movie.
Eventually, you have to add in Batman, though, don't you?
What?
Eventually, you have to add in Batman, though, don't you? If you continue following Joker as a character through these movies,
if they keep
at
going
some point, don't you have to introduce Batman?
If they go with like a Joker 2, like a sequel to this one, yeah, I think somewhere along the line, if they go like 2 or 3, if they make it a trilogy, is what I'm trying to say. Then yes, at some point we have to get more Batman, and there has to be maybe even like he wins, he actually defeats Batman type of thing, and this has nothing related to the DCEU.
I would love that.
That would be insane. That'd be so awesome. Yeah. But I don't know. I'd like to see this DC Blacklist, like just a villain type of thing, and convert it into the Legion of Doom.
Birds of Prey.
Harley Quinn. And, like, converting that into the Legion of Doom would be crazy, just all the DC villains. And then, meanwhile, they're working on the DCEU, is building up all the heroes. And then they finally collide type of thing. Like,
right.
What if?
You have two type of things right here. And, just mesh them together like PB&J. It could be a recipe in the making. Or they could just really just throw it out the window and say, fuck this, we're going to continue making shitty movies.
Hot take.
Go ahead, Tate.
What if? So, you know how in Birds of Prey, Leto's done? Like, in Suicide Squad, Leto's done. Todd Phillips said this might be inspiration for someone to be the real Joker. What if this was a prequel to
Birds of Prey?
To the Leto days, where Leto was the person who took the inspiration from Phoenix. And then they broke up, and Harley Quinn meets Phoenix as...
the real Joker?
Right, so he's not the real Joker because Leto is, but he's the real Joker because they crossed. That'd be
pretty cool.
If Joaquin Phoenix is in Birds of Prey, that has got to be the most hush-hush shit I think ever.
Hush as fuck, yeah. I don't think it'll happen, but can you fucking imagine?
I can't imagine.
We're here to theorize and
all I know is I want to see Joaquin again. I'd love to see him in another movie. I think it was great. What'd you guys think 1 through 10?
Honestly, I'm giving it, like I said, it wasn't perfect. I 9-1.
Really?
Yeah.
I give it a solid 9.
I've digested this now.
Yeah.
Went and saw it Monday. Today is Wednesday. I've had a couple days to think about it.
It had to be in the 9s for me.
I sat with an 8.7 when I initially walked out of the movie. Here I am. Not budging 8.7.
All right, fair.
That's fair.
Still great scores.
I do want to say around. Too, the budget for this movie was $55 million. Just to give people numbers, this was posted 2 days ago. That in the U.S. right now, with a couple days of it being out, it's grossed about $93.5 million.
Over the weekend, it was $90 million
in the U.S.
Just over 3 days.
And
are you kidding?
Worldwide, so far, it's sitting at $234 million.
It's doing pretty good.
Yeah. People were interested. People want to see if it lit up to the hype.
Yeah.
And people are happy it has because they're recommending it to other people and they're going to see it.
It broke the record, I guess, for biggest box office in the month of October or something like
Most
that.
Most likely.
Damn,
beat all those horror movies that come out in this month. Yeah. That is crazy.
I recommend it.
Yeah, 100%.
That being said, I don't think it's for everybody. It's definitely a certain
It's definitely not for kids.
Definitely not for kids.
Under the age of 15, I'd say.
You get what you fucking deserve. Pop. Right
Wow.
on TV. Man, this movie was good. This was a good movie.
Yeah. Check it out. Definitely check it out. I think it's worth the fucking $15 you pay nowadays.
Definitely.
If anything, I would have to say, if you have a child or a sibling that really wants to see this movie, and they're struggling with something at the moment, do not take them to go see it. Just wait it out, maybe till DVD, until they're in a better place, because this movie is dark. It's not a positive. It's not a happy movie. I could see why people would get upset about it, but I could also, there's no reason to be upset about it. If you're struggling with something, and you have this feeling this movie could tip you over and put you in a worse spot, don't even bother.
Yes.
See it for the pleasure of seeing it, and the fun of cinematography and the greatness that comes with it.
There were definitely scenes that tampered with severe major depression, suicide, all that stuff, inner demons and stuff. So yeah, just know that this is a serious movie that really
shouldn't be taken lightly.
Yeah, really actually does focus on mental health quite a bit, which is why I really liked it. And not everyone will.
Social worker over here.
But people,
that could
take
be
stuff serious.
That could be a movie name. The Social Worker.
Yeah, there you go.
Sign me
I'm going
up.
to write a movie about Tate now.
Sign me up.
Catch me next week with a full
Make
script.
millions.
Yeah.